Namaste. I welcome you all on this beautiful path of sadhana, on this great path of enlightenment. Today, I will begin my talk from a very beautiful story. A master is walking towards Himalayas. He chose to walk on the bank of the Ganga river. From the Ganga Sagar, he want to walk all the way to the birthplace of Ganga in Gangotri. Ganga Sagar is located in present day Bangladesh, where Ganges finally meets the ocean. So from Ganga Sagar, master decides to walk all the way across the northern India and to reach Gangotri, the most secluded place in the Himalayas, to meditate there. He was walking different towns, different kingdoms, fall on the path. This happened that one day he arrived to the kingdom of Kashi. It was the month of December. December is a very cold month in the northern India. So master, he arrived in Kashi and he saw a giant banyan tree on the bank of the river Ganga. So he decided to spend his night on the bank of the river under that giant tree. The king of the kingdom of Kashi is very religious person. So he is having a routine that every morning he comes out of his palace and he take bath in the Ganga every morning. So one cold morning, when the master is sleeping under that banyan tree, in the early hours of the morning, king came to take bath in the Ganga river. It was very cold. Ganga is considered to be a very important river in Hinduism. People, they worship Ganga. They take bath in the Ganga and believe that all their sins will be washed away if you take bath in the Ganga river. So the religious purpose, the king is doing that routine because we all want to get rid of our sin. The guilt of the sin on our chest and mind is very heavy. Remember, so much sin you have also have done. cheating someone, lie to someone, abused someone, steal from someone. Maybe it is difficult to remember because our memory is very weak. We don't want to, selective memory we have. We don't want to remember what we don't want to remember. But if you try to remember, it will be too much. The guilt, the burden is too much. So if someone will tell you, go to Ganga river, take a bath, your sin will wash away, you will say, yes, of course, the guilt at least will go away. Or go to the church, read Bible, confess to the priest, then your sin will go away. So you will do it because it is very easy, very accessible, and cost nothing. If you want to take bath in the Ganga, doesn't cost much, it's free. If you want to confess in the church in front of the priest, priests don't even have to know you who you are. You are covered in the confession box. You don't want to show who you are, but you want to get rid of your sins. Or you go to a pilgrimage. Many people, they do pilgrimage to get rid of their sins. Or many people, they do charities to get rid of their sins. It is actually the way you want to get rid of your guilt. That's it. The guilt is so heavy that I have done such terrible things to others. This guilt is very heavy. So you want to get rid of the guilt. You gambles and you know it is not good. You hate yourself when you do gambles, when you buy lottery tickets. You don't want to do it, but you're doing it because you are greedy. You want more and more wealth. You want to do minimum effort and want to get maximum benefit. So lottery is perfect for it because few dollars you spend, and if you win, you will have $1,000,000 you will get for that if you win. People do lotteries and you know that I am addict and I am miserable and I am greedy. So you want to buy the tickets from the lottery company which do animal welfare, a lottery company which helps some cause, some charity. So then you can freely buy the ticket from them without any guilt. We just want to get rid of our guilt. You want to just get rid of your guilts. So religion, they gave you very economical way how to get rid of the guilt because you don't want to spend money, you want to spend some few dollars, that's it. So the religion say, okay, donate to church. When you go to take bath in the Ganga river, drop one coin in the river. So one coin you drop and your sin is washed away. Very good deal. You are trained to have cheap deals because you are a cheap person. So you want a cheap deal according to you. When we go to the holidays overseas, what we do, we look for the cheapest option, cheapest hotel, cheap and the best. That is our motto. But cheap cannot be the best, and best cannot be the cheap. You know this. If you pay cheap, you will get cheap. Cheap, we want to book everything. Cheap flights, cheap hotels. If you want to do a yoga teacher training course, so cheap course. If you want to go to learn meditation somewhere, cheap place you will search, because you are cheap. Money, wealth is everything for you, materials is everything for you. So your whole effort is to preserve it, your whole effort is to save it as much as possible. You have trained in this capitalist society, you have been trained that way. So cheap options you look, even in religion you look cheap option to get rid of your sin and guilt. So taking bath in the river, do a fire ceremony, chanting some mantras. So you know it will cost you not much, so you do that thing to get rid of your sins. Donate in mosque, donate in charity, or prayer at least. When you pray to God, when you pray to any deity you believe in, any god you believe in, Rama, Krishna, Allah, Jesus, any god you believe, you will pray to that god. In some religion, you pray twice a day, morning and evening. In some religion, you pray before every meal on Sunday. Some religion you pray on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, different days, particular important days, Monday. So according to every religion, there is different days which are very important. So on those days, if you pray, then your sin will get rid. You will get rid of your sin. Your whole effort is to get rid of this guilt you carry all the time. You look for the cheapest option. So prayer is a very cheap option. What you have to do for pray? Just sit and pray to God. God, forgive our sin. So your prayer is nothing. You are not praying to any God. You are only praying so that you can get rid of this burden of the sin which you are aware. But you don't want to show anybody. You don't want to prove anybody. In the life of Leo Tolstoy, a beautiful incident is there. One day Leo Tolstoy went to a church, very early hours, and he was quietly sitting in a chair. And the rich man of the town also came to the church in the early hours. He didn't notice that Leo Tolstoy is sitting there. So this rich man came and start crying and praying to God that God, I have been. He is a landlord. So he said, I have done so much of sins. So many women I have raped. So many people, enemies I have killed. So many people's wealth I have taken. God, forgive me. I am the sin. I am the most sinful person. There is hardly anyone in the world who is less sinful than me. I am the most sinful person. God, but you are have lot of mercy. Mercy on me. Your heart is very big. Forgive my sin. So Leo Tolstoy is sitting and watching that this man actually is a very, in the society, he is a very gentleman. He is a very aristocrat person, comes from aristocratic class. which considered very, very polite, generous, high in moral. So Leo Tolstoy just stand up and he want to go out of the church. The man who is confessing to the God surprised that, oh, this man is sitting here. And he realized that he had listened everything. So Leo Tolstoy start walking out of the church, and this man, he finishes pray very quick that, okay, God, I'm going now. Thank you. Remember what I said and do it. And then the rich man chased Leo Tolstoy and he said that, Leo, be aware if you spoke to anybody about what I have said inside. Leo Tolstoy said, but you yourself has speaking about it. The rich man said, I don't want to listen that, Leo. That is stupidity. You are understanding my meaning. Don't play around. If you speak about what I said inside to anybody, I will kill you. I have killed many people in the past. I will kill you. Even your body, nobody will find. Leo Tolstoy on that day realized that these are the religious people, full of ego and cunning people. Even God they make fool. But in the religion they gave you this remedies. Pray to God, your sin will finish. Bath in a holy water, your sin will finish. Confess, your sin will finish. Do this ceremony, do mantra chanting, do meditation, do a pilgrimage, do yoga, your sin will finish. So the king, who is very religious person, he was taking bath in the Ganga river every morning. So every morning he finishes his sin. Then all day he do sin. Then next morning again he come to the river, take a dip and sin finish. Then next day, whole day he do again sin. So religion actually gave you a very beautiful instrument. Keep doing sin. God will forgive you. But your conscience will never forgive you. Your conscience knows how terrible you are. Your conscience remembers everything. That is why you can't sleep properly. That is why your days are dull. That is why your nights are full of fear. Sometimes you are so much deep in your misery that if somebody call your name suddenly or somebody just came back, came in front of you from nowhere, you scared sometimes. Sometimes you are so much involved in your misery that somebody speaks something and you're not aware about that person is present in the room and he speaks something, you shake that, oh, you gave me heart attack. Because you are somewhere else, you think you are alone and you are in your misery. You feel afraid that someone caught you, that like that rich man when he realized that Leo Tolstoy is sitting. Very beautiful incident it is there from the life of Leo. Tolstoy wrote in his diary that on that day I realize how cunning human is, how cunning we are. We have two faces in front of outside, one face is outside the house and one face we have inside the house. This persona we carry with us everywhere, wherever we go, this persona we carry. Our true self, that is why, left so much far behind, because we spent more time in our false self, in our ego. The king surprised when he saw the master is sitting under the tree. And in great samadhi, master is sitting. The king went to the master and he said, Master, excuse me. Master opened his eyes and he said, Yes. How can I help you? He said, Master, but you are doing here under this tree what you are doing. Master said, Last night I sleep under this tree. So that's why I am here. I slept last night here. Soon I will leave. The king surprised that you slept here in the open under this tree. It is so cold. Month of December. In the middle of the winter. So cold winter. So cold year this is. Didn't you felt cold in the night? How was your night spent? The king asked to the master. Master replied that king, some part of my night is just like your night. If you want to compare, some part of my night is almost the same as your night. And some part of my night is even better than your night. The king surprised. I am a king. He is a beggar. I live in a palace. He is sleeping under this tree in the open. I have fire, chimney, fireplace in my room. Linen, blankets, silk, bed sheets. Not one, two, three, many blankets. And a beautiful woman sleeping next to me, which giving me warmth. Performed sex also, so sex also give some warmth. Even then, after having everything, then also I feel a bit cold. Means everything which can give warmth is there present for my service, but still I can feel a bit cold in the night, even in my beautiful room with fireplace, with woman, with blankets. And this master is here. half naked, hardly any proper blanket, under this tree. So much cold, so much cold is here, so much thick fog because of the cold. And this master is saying that some part of his night is almost equal to my night, night of a king. And not only this, he also saying that some part of his night is better than my night. How it is possible? I have all the materials, all the pleasures which I could have, which a king could have, everything I have. And he got nothing. He said, Master, how it is possible? Some part of your night is equal to my night. Okay, that I could understand. But you saying that some part of your night is better than my night? This is very hard to digest. How I can believe it? Please explain. If you say something, there must be some reason behind it, there must be some reasoning behind it, there must be some common sense behind it. Master said, Oh king, it is not a rocket science. It is just a common sense. I will explain you. First of all, I will explain you how my night, how part of my night is equal, almost equal to the part of your night. First of all, I will explain this to you. Then later I will explain you how the some part of my night is even better than your night. That also I will explain you. But first of all, I will explain you how my night and your night, some part of that night is equal. King said, Yes, master, please explain. Master said, O king, when the night, geographically when night starts, nobody go to bed straight away. As soon as the sun sets, nobody goes to bed straight away. People go to bed. Some people they go to bed at 8 o'clock. Some people they go to bed at 9 o'clock. Some people 10 o'clock. Some people 11, 12 o'clock. We don't go to bed straight away as soon as the sun set. So some part of the night we are awake. In that part of night, O king, you are awake and I am awake. So we both are awake in that part of night. This I will explain you. After this I will explain you later. But first of all, I will explain you what part of your night and my night is equal. So, O king, the part of night when you are in deep sleep and when I am in deep sleep. So, in deep sleep, we both are having same. night. Our night is same, because in deep sleep, when a beggar is in deep sleep and when a king is in deep sleep is deep sleep. In deep sleep, mind dissolves. In deep sleep, body dissolves. That is why when people wake up in the morning, they don't remember deep sleep. People, they, if you ask them, people, they tell you that I had a very deep sleep. If you ask them what you see in the deep sleep, they will not remember anything. Nothing is there. A dog in the deep sleep and a lion in the deep sleep is not no more dog and no more lion. They both are in the deep sleep. Deep sleep is very blissful because mind is not there. So disease of the mind is not there. Disease of the mind is stress, anxiety, depression, greed, lust, desires, anger, attachments, ego, jealousy is not there. They are the disease of the mind. So disease of the mind is not there. So the sorrow which comes from uh, the sorrow which is the outcome of the disease is not there because mind is not there. Body is not there in the deep sleep. So pain and the sorrow of the body is not there. Suppose if somebody having cancer, somebody have diabetes, somebody have terminal terminal illness. When they are in deep sleep, cancer dissolves. In deep sleep, you are blissful. Body is not there, so disease of the body is not there. Headaches, if somebody is having a headache and that person go to sleep having a pill, sleeping pill and go to sleep, in deep sleep, the headache disappears because body disappears. In deep sleep, only pure self is there. In deep sleep, only you are there. The self is there, pure self is there. So, pure self, the true self, is same as it is in everyone. That is why when children play, whether a child is from slum, whether a child is from a royal family, if 4-year-old, 5-year-old children will play, they don't care who is king, who is royal and who is from slums. They just play because conditioning is not yet started in their mind, in their brains. Although training is, both are getting now training to be miserable, but training is just started, so they are not yet fully trained. They are not yet become machines. Still, they are human. That is why children, they play beautifully. A white child or a black child, if you bring them together, they play. But a white man and a black man will both have conditions. The white man is suffering from the ancestors' trauma. Their white ancestors are suppressors, abusers. So a white man carry that trauma of suppression and abuse. And a black man is also carry that trauma because his father, his forefathers, they are oppressed, they are suppressed. So he carried that pain. So the both are sharing the pain, both are carrying the pain. That's why they both will have to be very, very miserable with each other. It is very difficult for them to come over this burden of the past they both are carrying. But a white child or a black child, instantly they will play because they are not yet carry the burden. Later on, we will inject in their veins and in their arteries, we will inject the burden of the guilt, the burden of the misery, the burden of sorrow. We will inject. In the deep sleep, a white man and a black man, they both are same. A Muslim in the deep sleep and a Hindu in the deep sleep is same. A Christian in the deep sleep, a Jewish man in the deep sleep, they both are one, both are same. So, O King, that part of our night is same. If you compare that part, so we both have the same type of night. In that part of the night, we both are equal. Then the king said, and what about the night, the part of night you said, which is even better than my night? So master say, as I explained you, king, that we don't go to bed straight away as soon as the sun set. So some part of our night we spent awake also, till 9 o'clock, till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, some people awake, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, some people awake. Teenagers, they awake till 4 o'clock sometimes, busy in sex, busy in video game, busy in party. So king, some part of the night we all are awake. So in that part of night you are miserable. While eating your dinner, you thinking, you worry about your enemies. While eating the dinner, you worry about your wife health, your child's well-being. You worry about material security. You worry about what if some enemy attack my kingdom and dethrone me, took away my power. What will happen then? What I will do? Then I will be very miserable. So continuously the fear of security and material is make us, gives lot of anxiety. People is scared if I lose my job. People is scared if I lose my wife, if I lose my husband, if I lose my children. Some people, they have anxiety. What happen if my mother die? We don't want our mother to die. We don't want our father to die. We don't want us to die. I don't want to die. But I don't understand that birth and death is not depend upon your personal choice. Your mother born, one day she will die. Your wife, your husband, your child born, one day they will die. Death is not miserable. Death is a stage, one of the stage, like birth, like life. Death is not something which is miserable. Death is a reminder that awake, enlighten before you die. Don't just die unconsciously, like the way you live your life unconsciously. Don't die the way you live your life. Fear, insecurities, constantly worry about insecurities, materials. This way you live your life miserably. Don't die miserably. Die Videh Mukta, like a Videh Mukta dies. And live like a Jivan Mukta, a man who is free while alive, while breathing. Master told the king that we are so much worried about losing materials. This is actually a great curse on the middle class. This is actually a very great curse on the upper middle classes, because they constantly live under the fear that one day this all can be taken away from me. This fear constantly a person from middle class, lower middle class and upper middle class, they constantly remain under the burden of this fear that one day it could be taken. If the government of my country become a socialist government, then maybe my property will be finished. People, they scared of refugees. In Australia, refugees were treated very badly. They don't treated with dignity. Families, they taken away from their houses and they put them in the detentions. Some people are waiting in the detention center since last 6-7 years to get release. They live like a prison. What is their crime? Seeking refuge. Where? In the most developed, one of the developed country of the world. Our country is developed, but our heart is remain underdeveloped. Economically, our country is first world country, but our heart is 10th world, 20th world, backward. That is why our government represents our middle classes. We scared that somebody could come, a refugee could come and could take my privilege. So we support the government who have strong laws against refugees. We don't want, because we live under the fear that the people from the poor class can claim our wealth. Constantly, a person from the middle class remain in great misery because he is not sure how long his wealth, his materials will last long. That is why people they work even after crossing the age of retirement because they are trained that this can be taken away from you. So they keep saving and saving and they don't want to touch their savings. They want to keep still working miserably. Old age. Even body is requesting them that please relax now, sit now. You have exploited me since last 40 years. Now give me some rest. Our fear takes away our joy. We become heartless towards others and towards ourselves also because we are also miserable. And the cause of your misery is your selfishness, your great selfishness. Many people today in the world will sleep hungry. Why? Ask yourself. Many people in the world today will die from those reasons which are avoidable. Why? Ask yourself. That is why you are burdened. You carry so much guilt. And this guilt, somewhere you are responsible for it. When a man in a factory in Bangladesh, in India, dies with cancer because you want in your first world country cheap clothes, cheap products, and your governments are very cunning. They go to the third world countries and they ask them to produce cheap thing. They pay their labor very cheap wages. They work overtimes and they work in a very unhealthy environment. Hardly a worker in the factories of third world country reaches retirement age. He dies before retirement. Some people hardly cross 60. Why? So that you can live here in the first world countries 90 years. Someone is paying the cost of your cheapness by his life. Animals are suffering because we are cheap. We are so insecure, we become selfish. We don't care about anybody else. We only care about how much more I can earn, how much more I can accumulate. And your misery is hidden in this mindset you have. This is not your mindset. This mindset is created, injected in you by your mother, by your father, because your father is also very miserable. Your mother also lives very miserable life. And they trained you that this is the way we lived our life and this is the way you have to live your life. The king said, Master, yes, you are right. Sometimes the tensions, the anxiety is so much that I could not even go to sleep. I have to turn here and there in the bed. I have to drink wine. I have to drink alcohol so that my mind can become slow so I can sleep. Some people, for them, going to bed is a fight. You have to listen some music, you have to listen something. Otherwise, you can't even sleep. Or you have to drink, otherwise, you can't sleep. Master said, O king, this miserable part of night which you live every day, that part of night I meditate. That part of night I remain one with my true self. That is why that part of my night is better than your night. That part of night before sleep you are miserable, and that part of night before sleep I am in bliss. My bliss is not limited to my deep sleep. My bliss is here flowing in the present moment. So some part of our night, O king, is equal, almost equal. But some part of our night I am more blissful than you. So some part of the night I am more better than you. When master say something, master don't speak without any understanding. Master understand. That's why master, when he speak, it appears very strange. But if you see, it is very simple to understand. We have to come out of our fear of losing, because that fear is not serving you. It constantly make you miserable. Such a small heart you have. This heart will keep you miserable. Raise your consciousness. Listen to your conscience. Develop some morality. Don't just live a selfish life. Because this selfish life, if you live, you will not be happy. And for whom you are living this selfish life, they also will be miserable. You see your son, your daughter, your wife, they are miserable. You are living for them, they are miserable, and you are also miserable. If husband wife will not drink, they will kill each other. If you will not drink coffee and tea in your office, in your business, you will sleep. You have no energy left. That is why relationships breaks so easily, because you are not connected with your true self, so you can't be connected with anyone else. Develop a connection with your true self. path of sadhana is there. Miserably you have lived for so long. Now live, try to live consciously. The master, after talking to the king, gets up and start walking. The king says, Master, give me some opportunity to serve you for few days. Stay in my palace. The master looked at the king and said, my time here is over. Like rivers never stop, master never stops. But O king, remember and try to work for the blissful nights. Those part of your nights when you are miserable, try to work out and make that part of night also blissful. And the master start walking towards the Himalayas. The Himalayas of bliss. The Himalaya is within you. You don't have to climb Mount Everest. You don't have to go to India or Nepal or Bhutan to see the Himalayas. Himalayas is within you. Try to sit, explore the Himalayas within. The blissful Ganga river of calmness is there. Now I will give rest to my words. Namaste. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Namaste.